Today we have Dr. Michael Byron. He's the CEO of Nighthawk Gold Corp, ticker NHK. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. So you're a junior gold explorer, and your focus is the Northwest Territories. And tell me about your land position. I understand you have a sizable land position.
Yeah, we've got a regional play centered around a former producer, the old Colomac Gold Mine.
Okay.
So we've gone in the early 2010 and consolidated pretty much the entire gold camp. So in terms of surface area, it's about 900 square kilometers. We're located about 200 kilometers north of Yellowknife.
So a bit chilly at night.
Well, yeah, if you're up there in the winter, it's a lot more than chilly.
So when was the last time gold was produced there?
1997, the asset was actually shut down. The former owners, Royal Oak, went bankrupt. And that core deposit then became the responsibility of the federal government of Canada to clean it up. So when we came along, we saw a residual opportunity and worked on that over the subsequent years and have moved the asset now to over 2.6 million ounces.
So that's a 43-101?
That's correct, yes.
2.6. I remember the late 90s, because I was thinking about speculating, because gold was just kept dropping and we put in a bottom, I think, in 99, and then it did a double bottom in 2001. It was a brutal time, so I can see why maybe a project like this might have trouble.
Yeah, I think gold at that time was about $6.50 an ounce. So
and on its way down to $2.50 too.
Yeah. So it wasn't a great time to be a producer of a small deposit.
Yeah.
But with the rebound, and we've actually found more opportunity in that asset than Royal Oak thought it had in terms of a much higher grade
was that
opportunity.
Peggy Whitty?
Yes.
Yes. So 2.6 million ounces, and how much of the sort of prospective land would you say you've explored?
Oh, geez, about half of the sill itself, but in the regional land package, even less than that. So we consolidated an entire Archean gold camp. So think about it as same sort of geology as the Abitibi Greenstone Belt, which hosts all our historic mining camps like Timmins and.
Are there any other credits, or is it mainly gold?
Mainly gold, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me now. You have about 190 million shares outstanding. Mm-hmm. How much cash are you sitting on?
A little bit over 14 million in cash.
And when did you do your last funding?
Last year, actually, we did a top-up of flow-through just to take us, because we initially came out, we were going to drill 25,000 meters, and we actually moved it up to 32,500 meters.
So you drilled, this was last year, you drilled 32,000,
yes.
And then you're going to start another 25,000 meters this year.
That's correct, yep.
And what price did you do the funding at last year?
Oh, 50 cents.
50 cents, yeah. Okay. It's been a tough market for, the junior market has been difficult, I would say, generally speaking. There's been flashes of brilliance, of course, but so now let's talk about the grade. What kind of grade are you?
Well, traditionally or historically, Colomac was a large tonnage, low-grade open pit deposit.
Okay.
Of which they mined about 500,000 ounces. So it was hardly touched. What we've been able to do is go back in and build upon what was left and increased it to where we are today at a little over 2.6 with only exploring half of the sill. So, there's an upside of 4 to 5 to 6 million ounces there. At 1.62 is the global grade, but we also found high-grade domains in the system, and those grades go significantly higher, up to 4, 5, 6 grams. So what we're trying to do is move that forward so that we can reinvent Colomac as a large tonnage, low grade opportunity, but also as a higher grade opportunity where we may be able to get deeper in the system by ramping into these high grade domains.
Right. And is there much infrastructure there from when they were producing? Is that?
No, it was reclaimed by the federal government, so it was deemed reclaimed, but there's an airstrip that was left, a 5,000-foot airstrip.
Right.
To put that into perspective, we've landed Hercules on it before, so it's a big strip.
Right.
We use that winter and summer to move equipment in.
Yeah, this is quite a significant project, isn't it? Like, it's not just like you're looking for a couple of veins. So you got a big system here.
We have a big system at Colomac, but the system spans far beyond the boundaries of Colomac. When you think of an opportunity of this scale where you're talking about a deposit that may contain upwards of 6 million ounces, that requires a very robust system, and usually in the Archean, they manifest themselves over a broad areal extent. And we've been successful in zeroing in on a lot of these satellite deposits that share a lot of similarities to Colomac, and that being in terms of high grade and width, but they're all on surface. Nothing's been drilled below 100 meters. So there's your opportunity.
So I was just going to ask you, how deep do you go in these holes? Like you're saying 100 meters?
Well, outside of Colomac. Colomac's been drilled down to 600 meters in the high grade domains.
Okay.
But the rest of the sort of the near surface environment, most of the drill holes are, 200 to 300 meters.
So when are the drills going to be turning here for Nighthawk this year?
Next week. We begin the program.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought maybe because of the, so you're not waiting till May or anything like that.
No, we open the camp in early or late February, start drilling by the end of the first week of March. We've done that in the past few years, and continue on till at least the end of September and possibly early October.
And just a question, where do you think you have to get to for a major to come along and say, would you need to get to like 3 or 4 million ounces?
Yeah, traditionally it's always been, the litmus test has been 3 million ounces. And if you don't have 3 million, you've got to have the real estate and the system that people can see 3 or better.
And we've
got that.
You've got that, yeah. And do you have big shareholders? Do you have some big shareholders?
We do. We have strategic shareholders as well as institutional. Strategics would be Kinross Gold. They own just under 10%. Same with the Cisco royalties.
Okay.
And Northfield Capital owns about 17, 18%.
Wow. So the float, when you're talking 191 million shares or whatever, and you back out these big shareholdings, the float shrinks down quite fast.
Quite fast, yes.
Yeah. So how many holes do you plan on drilling here this year? If it's 25,000 meters, you're looking at a couple hundred meters per average?
Yeah, we'll probably do 70 to 80 holes.
Wow.
Throughout, and that's, like I said, about 50% of the holes will be drilled at Colomac to prep us for a resource update in early 2020. And the other 50% will be on our satellite properties, what we've had great success with over the past year.
Just out of curiosity, how many people will be at your camp?
Well, upwards of 35, 40 people are there.
Yeah,
right?
so obviously
we're in full bore. We'll be working the drills. We have 3 drills on site.
Yeah.
So we'll drill. Those will be operational throughout the program, as well as we have prospecting and mapping teams active throughout the summer as well.
And when do you expect to have initial results from this program?
We'll probably, if we started in March, late May, probably, possibly early June.
And then you'll have continuous news flow?
Continuous, every say 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, is there anything you want to add?
Well, basically, think about this opportunity as getting a position in a junior that's acquired a really robust asset at a bargain basement price right now that strategics are already looking at and paying attention to what we're doing.
And quite frankly, gold has had in Canadian dollars for sure a pretty good move. Like, gold's not at a what I would call a bargain basement price. It's around 1,300 US, which is close to what 1,600 Canadian or something.
Yeah, as the price of gold goes up, as you know, the value of those ounces increase as well. So we're really well positioned to take advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's leave it there. Nighthawk Gold, ticker NHK, drill results sometime late May.
Correct.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on the show.
Pleasure.